Oh shit, come on, give me a kiss.
People love my blowjob face.
It's a dictionary of dicks. What's wrong with this?
And mostly when I play, I'm like, I'm blowing shit up.
We have a self-jerking machine.
That's hot.
Aw, Mario, stop touching me. I'm your brother Luigi.
Pre-recorded live from across these great United States. Sometimes you like to play with other things, but let's play with ourselves. Hey everybody, it's me, SuperPaulGames, and welcome to the podcast with my lovely co-host, Gamerpixie222.
Hello!
That's the hot voice they all love.
They all love being just one person, and that's me. You died?
That's how this week has... That's how...
Go ahead.
No, but that's how this week has been. That would be, if someone asked me how this week has been, that'd be my response to it.
No, yeah. If someone asked me how my life has been recently, I'd ask them why they're asking me that. But anyway, I'm like, I don't know you. I will not expose myself to people I do not know. Expose my information bits. Yeah, but I'd probably do for y'alls who've played Age of Empires 2, the villager dying who goes, yo! It sounds like he stubbed his toe, but really he got eaten by a wolf. So, next time you hear a guy do that, he's probably getting eaten.
Next time I hear a guy get eaten by a wolf, you take that very stoically. If I heard someone getting eaten by a wolf, I'd be like, oh, it just happened again. I'd be like, oh god.
I'd be like, he stubbed his toe, I'm sure.
So what's new with you?
Well, nothing really, because we tried to do this whole thing before, and then my Audacity crashed, so, what's new with me is I'm getting, just getting shit done, freaking gonna do some, hold on, thoughts are happening, things are going on in my brain. There's a hamster in there, it's almost dead, but it's just alive enough to get that wheel moving.
Can I assume he has a bottle of, booze? That's the way
I'm just thinking he's dead because he's not been fed.
How do you get hamster food in your brain anyway?
I don't know. Can we give money to scientists and get on this right now? Can we be like, do you snort it? Do you shove it up your eyes? Or what? What do you do?
I would assume you put it in the ear hole.
The ear hole. Okay, folks. Okay, kids out there, remember. When you buy a brain hamster from PetSmart, TM, ask, will this food fit in my ear hole? And the clerk will look at you and lick his lip a couple times and then say, yeah, baby. And it will. And it'll tell you to bend over. And then the commercial ends because I didn't buy enough slot time for that. Okay, anyway. I'm stupid, and I realized what's been going on this week. Sorry, I'm so caught off guard, because I'm kind of, honestly, this is going to be the podcast where instead of Gamer Pixie being like, oh yeah, jamming, so happy, I'm going to be like, oh my god, I'm so fucking mad, I'm done with you guys. I'm like an emo anime guy right now. So what's new with me? I've recently turned into a guy, and I'm also very sad. Nah, just kidding. I can't finish Indiana Jones because it's too long, so I'm going to finish it next month, and I got a Barbie game to play for next crappy game of the month, and I can record HD now, so, ha!
Oh, I can't wait for the HD. She was telling me last night about the HD, and I got overly excited. I was like, yay, HD games!
Oh my god! Straight lines!
And I was like, I better tone it down a little bit and be a little cooler. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's cool. No pressure. Pretty much.
That was exactly how I came across, I'm guessing, too.
You did. You wrote in ghetto voice, yeah, man, it's okay.
Whatever. I'm still cool.
I'm so cool. I'm gonna go ride my track to the store and buy some snowballs.
I did go to the store earlier.
Did you buy snowballs, though? Because you told me.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. You told me.
That I bought snowballs?
No, you told me you went to the store.
Oh, yeah, I bought cheesy popcorn. I love that. I got, a bag of it. I ate, half of it earlier. I'm like, I just need a little more. I just need a little more.
That's the kind that, if you eat too much, your innards become laced with, grease plastic, and you feel like you're slowly turning into the Terminator 1000, T-1000, sorry.
Oh, I don't have the problem. My body's pretty resilient to that stuff. My
Oh.
body's like, give me more crap. Oh, yes.
I can't...
Rub it all over me.
It's like when you eat freaking like Girl Scout cookies. I can get through half a box and then I'm like, oh my god, my innards. They're like, you are a child of the earth. You cannot eat this processed BS, even though it's really
I thought
good.
you meant like half a box of Girl Scouts. I was like, where do you get a box of Girl Scouts?
Well, there's a school down the road. They don't suspect a thing. I say, girls, are you selling cookies? And they're like, yeah. I say, how much are they? And they say $8.15. I think it's $8.15 a box, right?
I didn't know.
And then I proceed to grab them and throw them into a van that's painted as a giant box of Girl Scout cookies. And then I drive it off and I eat them. Oh, I just blew my cover. I guess I'm going to jail. God, I'm so bitter right now. Oh, bitter.
That's been me this week. If there was a word for it this week, I would have been like, I already told... Was that a walrus? SeaWorld's here! Shamu! Hey, you know what's sad?
What?
When I was a kid, I'm like, yay, Shamu! And then I found out there's been a lot of Shamus when they die.
Yeah.
There's a new Shamu. I'm like, what? I only found that out last year. I'm like in my late 30s, and I'm like, it wasn't, the Shamus are all dead. No.
You know what, I figured that out is I was playing a game, and it was like, educational. Did you know that whales live this long? And I was like, hey, SeaWorld's been around for longer than that, so they probably got new whales, I assumed. Unless we got some sort of crazy whale extreme living serum.
Most likely.
Most likely. Keeps the people coming. Anyway.
You sell something that keeps the people coming, you make a lot of money. That's why the Viagra business is big. But this week...
But I'm... Kill me. Anyway.
What was I saying?
I don't know. I cut you off. I'm sorry. I cut you off with my knife of...
I was telling Gamerpixie earlier, so I told you guys in a previous podcast about a visual novel I did that has a sex scene in it, and I censored it, and like some of the viewers were like, why'd you censor it? And even Gamerpixie was like, oh, you censored it.
It's like, I wanted to see things.
And so like this, I'm like, I'll show you things. I've got a phone and a pen, and so this week some prude flagged my video that's censored on YouTube. And YouTube pulled it down, and they gave me what they call like a community guideline strike.
They pulled it down.
The video, not like my pants. They were like, oh, what's going on here?
Smacked your butt and was like, mister, you got censored.
I think it's not the first time YouTube's asked me to bend over, but, so, and they basically, with the community guideline strike, said I couldn't upload anything over 15 minutes for the next 6 months. And since almost all my videos are over 15 minutes, I'm like, that would have killed my channel for half a year.
Killed it dead.
And so I was super fucking pissed. I'm like, some fucking prude, and it's all censored. Luckily, I got to appeal it, and they reinstated the video, and I can upload longer videos again.
So false alarm. So if you guys are having a heart attack.
For like 24 hours, I couldn't upload anything more than 15 minutes. And so yesterday, I'm like, Gamerpixie, I'm really sorry, but I don't know if I can upload any podcasts. He texts me and
calls me Gamerpixie.
It's true.
He says Gamerpixie, and I'm like, my real name is... Bleep. And he goes like, you're always Gamerpixie to me.
I'm kind of like... Batman? I was gonna say Sherlock Holmes. I didn't get the movie. Man, Sherlock Holmes has got an awesome mobile. I love it when he fights Scarecrow. And they're like, that's not Sherlock Holmes.
No,
well, he seems pretty smart.
And then Batman stands in a room taking opium and being smart and cynical. I think he was cynical. Anyway, back to the program. It was... I was worried about it. I think I know you said you were really worried, but once again, you just kind of seemed really calm about it. Because when he texted me, he's just like, you know, there might be a problem. And I'm like, uh-oh, what is it? And he's like, well, I got this thing, like, smiley face. I swear, you put a smiley face while you were complaining about something. So I thought you were kind of, like, mildly, like, about it.
Well... I was looking at the best. I was like, worst case scenario, I'll just stream a lot on Twitch. But honestly, if I would have had to have 6 months where I couldn't upload any real videos on my channel, it would have more or less killed it. And...
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you do upload a ton of, like, 20-minute videos. So, yeah, I understand. Luckily, you hit me with the news while I was in the shower. You hit me with the bad news. And then you hit me with the good news before I got out of the shower. So I just read, like, well...
No, that's what it was. I'm like, Gamerpixie, I'm sorry, we probably can't do a podcast. And then it just happened that, like, I'd appealed it, like, hours and hours before. Is in the middle of me texting, like, the appeal went through and I won it. And then I'm like, oh, the stuff I was complaining about, never mind, sorry.
Pretty much.
I felt so embarrassed.
So I was enjoying myself in the shower. I love how whenever we do the podcast, I always talk about showering. But anyway, it's very important, kids. Shower your little booties, because they need to be clean. Anyway, special public service announcement by yours truly. If people stop taking showers because I told them to, I'm going to be really upset.
I don't think you have to worry about that. I don't think our podcast has that kind of power.
Can I just say, okay, for all intents and purposes, we're going to be deep on this podcast episode because we are emo ass.
Deep? Like, balls deep?
Balls deep in my depression right now. So, yeah.
Oh, you made me sad.
I did? You're a real happy, sad guy.
You know, like, it's like, I was like, I'm having a happy moment. You're like, yeah, I'm going to kill that.
I'm going to kill that like the small puppy it is.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, but with a kitten. I was like, I got a kitten. You're like, here, let me help you with this. And you grab it and you throw it out the window. Like,
and then it lands into a sack, which rolls down a hill and then hits a rock and takes the rock with it and lands into a pond. And then we drown it inadvertently.
I was hoping it was going to land on, like, a train and become a hobo kitty, and you were like, no.
Oh, meowers! I ride the railroad all the time, meow. I can't do it.
Let's go sell that to Cartoon Network. We'll have the best kids show ever.
Meow! Train track. Meow, 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 meow. Okay.
I'd fight for the episode where he stabs another hobo with a knife for beans.
You'd fight
like it's
for
a kid's thing. Kids gotta learn the hobo life. They need to know.
They do. With this economy. I love sad stuff. Anyway, speaking of very sad and frustrating and horrible stuff, I cannot get through this Indiana Jones Let's Play. I cannot do it. I have Indy swimming through the air in one episode, where I'm actually stuck, and he just swims through a boat and ends up swimming in the air, and he actually drowns in the sky, and I can't do it anymore. Oh, it's so horrible. I'm a wizard. I'm a wizard with transitions.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Oh my God! All you see is Wingardium Leviosa. His uncle just rips in two. Great.
Minus that part, I totally understand though when you struggle with an LP. I mean, we've been LPing for a long time.
Yes, we have. We're veterans.
I survived the LP wars.
We did, and we skipped out of that one LP war.
I remember when Total Biscuit gutted PewDiePie. It was vicious.
Wow, that's actually a thing. Okay. Oh, good job. Keep going. What was your...
Were you telling Total Biscuit good job for gutting PewDiePie?
Well, I mean, the best man wins, you know.
Oh, very well.
I'm the kind of person who's like, I go to a baseball game, I'm like, hey, whatever team wins, whatever game wins teams. Anyway, yeah.
Baseball season's starting up soon. I can't wait for that. I just ordered MLB The Show 15 pre-ordered, which I never do. I'm gonna go to some minor league games here once the season starts around here.
Cheer, cheer. Full.
That will be me. I'll be in the stands with my little pennant and my little hat and my monocle. Cheer, cheer, good show. Strike the ball, sir.
Oh, what a nice double play there. Yes.
That ump is a cunt. That was clearly a strike.
Take me home, Daddy.
What? What's that? I'm not gonna have gay sex in the stands while I'm watching the game.
Well, wait, couldn't you have...
I think that's frowned upon in any establishment I've ever been on.
Are you saying gay sex is frowned upon?
No. In public, sex is frowned upon. You can't have straight sex at the ballpark either.
Well, you know, sometimes. Sometimes. Someone just plays... There's a really good play.
So when the game starts, they're like, play ball. You're like, I already am. Oh, I played ball.
Oh, I'm so lonely.
And then everyone who's sitting next to me scooches a little further away on the bleachers.
That's because they're fucking each other and they don't want to be close to you.
Oh.
Don't cry.
Too late.
Dun, 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 dun. Anyway. Oh God. Oh God.
We were talking about Let's Plays we were struggling with though. With like what LP? Like you're one of my favorite Let's Players.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Don't rub it in.
Rub what in?
The ointment.
Oh, I thought we were talking about rubbing something else. It was still the baseball. I was like, no, what LPs have you most struggled with? Or grown to hate as you were doing them?
Oh God, this one right now, definitely this Indiana Jones one. Because at first it was like a fun project of like, it's like if you're doing some chariot races and your horses are so excited, they're like, oh yeah, and then they're like, start, and the horses are galloping, and they're like, this is so fun, and then by the second freaking round, they're like, oh my God, this is so boring, and I'm really tired, and I don't want to do this anymore, and then they just fall down and die, and their little horse tongues stick out, and they got X's on their eyes. That's how I feel about this Let's Play. It really started out fun, now it's just getting to the point where it's so stupid, because that game doesn't have a lot of substance. Like, there's no music in it, really. There's no soundtrack for the game. It's all, like, incidental. And, God, that just... I didn't really think that would detract from a game, but it really does. And there's just tons of fun glitches. Like I said, I was swimming. There's sharks that attack you. They bite your legs. And Indy goes, oh. He's like, oh, my God, I got bit by... Oh, that hurts. And then it doesn't take that much health. There's also piranhas, for some reason, that are the size of his head. And the sharks don't eat them. I don't know why. But really what this game has been is just glitch after glitch, and it's just a bitch. Rhymed.
Is that one of those ones, every once in a while I'll have an LP where it's so bad that you start counting the episodes that you think you have left till you're finally done. And you're like, probably just 5 more, I hope.
Yeah, that's the thing, is I'm not counting because I know it's a lot, and if I count, I will get so frustrated and I may not finish it. It's that bad. I know you're probably like, oh, come on, Gamerpixie, you're whining. I'm like, no. The game is like, I make a joke. I don't want to spoil too much because I don't want to put all the highlights out there, but I make a joke. There's like a mummy lying on a bed, and I make a joke of like, oh, Indy, give him the kiss of life. So I make Indy kneel on the bed and crawl on the bed over the corpse because I'm so mature. And then Indy gets stuck in the midsection of the corpse, and then Indy is flying around the room on his knees. And yeah, look forward to it. I will definitely send you a link to that episode, because, yeah, I want you to see that.
It sounds like if you made a highlight video of just those parts, that part would be hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Like the highlights would be.
Oh, seriously. There's so many highlights to that where the glitches are just fun, and, like, in the beginning, we have Indy... Just the wall grabbed his butt and was like motorboating his butt cheeks. I have no idea what was going on there. So yeah, I really don't like this Let's Play right now. It's fun, but the last episode I recorded, which I think was a week ago, and I know it's kind of like, well, you could upload them all and if you weren't lazy, but I think I have like 12 more levels to do, and it almost takes like half an hour to do each level. So it kind of is a lot. Also, I don't think anyone wants to watch half an hour of Indiana Jones in the Infernal Machine, because it's just awful. It's god-awful. But, you know that, you're hitting a wall with a Let's Play when you just start sounding so freaking bitter and so mad, and you start making jokes that you're like, oh, hang on a second, I don't censor myself, but even that was bad. Because with this, like, the latest episode, I was doing something, and I made the 2, like, most horrible jokes, which I can actually make on, well, I actually tell them what they are here, because okay, I did make a domestic abuse joke, because, just whatever. Yeah, put your hand on your face, because it was funny!
yeah. Gamerpixie's just like, I made 2 jokes I can make here, and I'm thinking, yeah, we do adult jokes, and then you're like, yep, I made a domestic abuse joke, and then I'm just like, facepalm.
You're like, oh, shit. No, but Indy was walking over to this woman. Spoiler alert, that old bitch turns into a young woman when you give her a flower. See? That's why you bring flowers to your girlfriend, so she stays eternally young and fertile. That's how you have 17 kids. Word.
That's why I fail at relationships. I never buy flowers. I never knew that was the secret.
That's why I'm old.
Because no one got you flowers?
No,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no one gets me flowers. My dad gets me flowers, but I don't think it works when your dad does. Anyway, but yeah, no, he's walking over to her because you just defeated this really inane, stupid boss. And then I made the joke that the piece of the machine, because you find a piece of the infernal machine, I make a joke and I'm like, it's your dildo. And that's it. That's right. And then I say something like, did you know it's okay in my country to beat women or something? And then it was... And then you just know you're hitting a wall when you start making horrible jokes like that. Am I jagging on?
No.
Okay.
No. I can totally relate to that. I mean...
Everyone's gonna hate me.
I've had that myself, where you either do that or you start to rage. Like, I think the LP that was worst for me was Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Because my friend Foxy was like, do an LP and dedicate it to me. And I'm kind of an asshole, and she'd hate Star Wars. So I'm like, I'm going to do a Star Wars game, because she hates Star Wars. So I made this whole intro up where I drew a beginning thing with like a little animated thing where I just drew, and I drew a picture of me and her, and I'm like, yes, my friend Foxy, she's such a dear friend and such a good friend, so I thought I'd LP this for her. And then boom, it goes right into the Star Wars thing, Star Wars music and everything. And I thought I was so clever, I thought it was so funny, because I'm like, Foxy, I made an LP for you. And then I'm like, yeah, I trolled you. But then the game is horrible. It is just, the controls are ridiculously bad. There's this jump near the end in this like reactor core area where literally it's just one little simple jump. It took me like 45 minutes to make the jump.
Oh, really?
The game is so broken. There's a time where I jumped and I fell, and you're supposed to die, and I didn't die. I plummeted down to the bottom of the reactor core, and I was just stuck there, and I ran around in circles for minutes, and I had to restart the game. I was like, And then there's other parts where Jar Jar, you have to make the stupid jump that's once again ridiculous. And the whole time he won't shut up. He's like, come and help me, save me, something like that. I'm like, I'm gonna strangle you, Jar Jar, if I ever fucking get up there. Will you shut up?
Yeah, I can't believe he's in that game.
Oh, and then there's this other part where the Queen of Naboo, you're trying to escort her to the escape ship. And she will just stop in the middle of the street until destroyer droids come up and shoot her. And the whole time she'll complain. She'll be like, we need to go. And I'm like, then fucking move your ass.
Oh.
And then there's other times where I move up ahead and she just waits. And just, that game was horrible.
Did you finish it, though?
I did finish it because I'm stupidly OCD, where I think every game but 2 that I've started, I've finished. Neverwinter Nights 2, I gave up on. Just, it's a hugely long game. And then, A Link to the Past.
Hugely long. I like that description.
That's why I tell the ladies, and then they're disappointed when it wasn't true. And then,
At least I to a bug it is. Oh, okay, I'm just adding to your joke. I don't really think that. Come on.
Oh, dear.
I have high regard for other people's naughty bits, okay?
Right. And then the other... Gamerpixie quote, I have high regard for other people's naughty bits.
I do. I don't see them, so you can't judge. Skype is being a motherfucker right now. Anyway... So yeah, no, that sounds like a really annoying Let's Play that you really are, you're a patriot of some society for finishing. Good job.
Well, I don't know about you, but when I start a game, I really want to finish it, because I feel bad if people start watching them and then I abandon it. Yeah,
I do feel that way. I mean, like, I'm, in a weird, sick, perverted way, I'm really enjoying recording the Indiana Jones one, because I am getting mad a lot, and it's kind of funny to see me get mad. I don't know, I find it entertaining when I get mad. But, yeah, there's some Let's Plays that I haven't finished, and some people have watched them, and they're like, are you going to continue this? I'm like, probably not. So, yeah, I am OCD about it, though, so it does bother me.
Yeah, I don't like doing that, because, you like to consider the viewers.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you're not an asshole like me.
Well.
Like,
the nice thing is, on the last podcast, we got a couple questions. Well, I should say one question. I accidentally said 2. Habbo asked me if I live in a nice box or something.
And he does. I don't. I've been there. It has carpet.
I live in a house. Someday maybe I'll live in a box. I'll be living the dream, but until then...
God. What dream is that?
The dream of failure? I don't know.
I dream about that a lot. And speaking of dreams...
Yeah, Anime Wolfie. That was the other question asked. What were your worst hallucinations or nightmares?
Hallucinations and nightmares. Well, I don't know about you, but one time... That's a weird way to start that off. But one time I was so tired and I hadn't slept for a while. And I hallucinated that there was a hand on my shoulder.
That's creepy.
Yeah, and that was pretty much the worst hallucination I've ever had. I mean, I have a lot of sleep paralysis nightmares and stuff, but I mean, actual hallucinations where all my senses were like, I was awake, I could smell, I could feel, I could taste. Ah, yes. Yeah, it ended up being like a blanket with little tassels on it, but I thought it was a hand.
That would still creep me out if I thought it was like a hand, and I was like, where the fuck is that?
Yeah, well, I slapped it, I was like, high five! And then it wasn't real, so I hurt myself.
See, mine's not near as creepy. The first one that comes to mind is after I graduated from high school for like a decade afterwards, I'd have these dreams where it was senior year, last day, and like the assistant principal would be like, you didn't pass, you have to do a whole nother year.
Oh god, that's awful.
It was, and I'd be like, no, I don't want to come back here and have to do another year of school. Everyone else has graduated.
That does sound like the anxiety dreams I have though, like with the late for work and stuff. Like last night, last night I had a dream that I had to go to work, and I was crying because I lived in like a massage parlor. And
Happy endings kind, or like classy kind?
Like rush hour kind. Anyway, but not as pink. I think it was pink in that movie, whatever. But no, I was with my parents, and I was there, and every time I'd walk out the front door, because I worked at a different place, but the place was like a Subway, and it was right next door to the massage parlor. And I'd be like, oh crap, I'm like almost 2 minutes late, but at least I live right next to work. So last night I was like, okay, dreaming, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to work, and I ran outside, and I was wearing my work shirt, but I was wearing my pajama pants, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta go, and I ran back in, and I changed, and I ripped my work pants, and then it turned out that I was starting to push the limit, like, I was 2 minutes late, and my boss called me, and she said, hey, you're 2 minutes late, you gotta pay up $2 when you get to work, and then I was like, oh no, I only have $6 in my wallet, so I can only be late for 6 minutes, so luckily I got there in 5. And then I ended up just screwing up everything. Fun stuff, really. That's not the worst dream I ever had, but that's the most recent nightmare I've had that actually I woke up and I was really scared, so... It's dumb.
That sucks. I always hated anxiety dreams about work. Like, I'd always have them be like, oh, am I supposed to be at work today? Am I on the schedule? I don't know what the schedule is. Oh, shit.
That's me. I check the schedule all the time. I'm like, oh my god, man, what if they changed it, man? And then that would be bullshit if they changed it, because you don't usually print out schedules and then change them after you print them out, but, stranger things has happened. But there's a couple. I got, like, top 3 worst nightmares that I've ever had. I want to just pick one of them, but I'm not sure which one. I told you about the Batman one, where I took the toy and I was killing toys with it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I should tell that one or the Terminator one.
Whichever one you like. Both of them.
They were pretty good.
The Batman one's fun.
It is fun. It was really scary. So, when I was little, I don't know if they still do this, but at Rite Aid or CVS or one of those, like, drug supermarket things, they have, they sell toys there, and sometimes they're kind of on the cheap side, not like Mattel or whatever Bratz were, I think that's like Mega Entertainment. Sometimes they'll just be like, generic dolls, have fun for half the price. And they were really cheap. So I went to CVS with my mom, and I was like 8 years old, and I got one of those dolls that you like help walk. It's like a weird, really cheap, just like freaking dummy you do CPR on or whatever. Except for not as heavy. And you could share the dress on it, but I was a fat kid, so I couldn't wear the dress. Also, I was a little taller than her, so I guess it didn't fit. But anyway, they're really creepy. They're about like 4 feet tall. Life-size dolls and all that fun stuff. So we got 2 of them, one for my friend and one for myself, but my friend left it at my house. So I went to bed that night, and both of these dolls are just lying down on the ground in my room, because I was a very clean kid. clean kid. And so I had this dream that I woke up and I just sat up in my bed and these dolls, like, came to life and they're animated, but they weren't, like, it was so weird. You know how dolls are, like, appendages and then the middle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were, like, connected supernaturally. I can't describe it. It was really creepy because they got up and they started walking around the room, like, upright, but they weren't actually, their joints weren't connected to their, like, pelvis and all this stuff. Like, the head wasn't connected to the neck, but it was, like, floating next to the neck area, and they made a lot of weird noises. And it scared the heck out of me. Like, as a kid, I was terrified. I was like, oh my god, this is awful. And I was like, I gotta take action. I have to take action on this. So what I did is I bent, I got off my bed. I kind of, like, looked down on the ground because I had a whole bunch of toys in my room in this dream. And I love how in dreams, the most familiar environment can be, like, so fucked up and so dark. And you can't, does that happen to you? You're just like,
totally.
It's my room, but it's all, like, dark and freaking... Well, it's funny, it's like Arkham City or whatever. But the cool thing is that, speaking of Arkham City, I looked down, and I saw this huge Batman toy. This huge Batman action figure. And the story with this is that across the street, we used to babysit these people, and they had a whole bunch of Batman toys. So I picked it up by the leg, and it's the Batman from the cartoon. And I just went to town, and I freaking beat the hell out of these dolls with this Batman doll, and I just... Batman's a good weapon in dreams, let me tell you. He really is. And then they died promptly. They fell apart. And I screamed, and then I ran out the door because I was going to tell my mom. And then I woke up, and I
like how in your nightmare of the creepy dolls, you're the one who destroys them.
Oh yeah.
It's not like you wake up running away. You're like, yeah, that's how I do it. That's how Gamerpixie rolls.
It was funny because, like, I woke up and I was still really scared. Well, because they were lying on the ground, exactly like in my dream. They were lying before they got up, so it was a little like, oh. So yeah, and then I dreamed about Teletubbies after that.
Oh, were you like, thanks, Mom and Dad, for the nightmare dolls?
I told my mom to get rid of them the next day. I said, can you get rid of these? And she did. She threw them away. She said they were really creepy. My brother was walking around, and I guess he stepped on the foot of one of the dolls, and the doll came up like, you know, like a broom. Yeah, and the dolls have those eyes that when they're lying down, their eyes close. So its eyes, like, opened as it came up to him. It's pretty cool. And then it hit him in the chest, so, you know.
That would freak me out, to say the least.
Yeah, when I said, get rid of him, like, everyone was... You could tell that the atmosphere had gotten lighter after that, so... Yeah, that's... And then, I don't know, I feel like I'm dragging on, but there was another dream where I got in a fight with my mom, and I was, like, 8 years old, and she said, if you're not good, I'm gonna throw you in your room, and I was really scared for some reason for that, and then she threw me into my room, and the light switch didn't work. And I guess the Terminator was in there somewhere.
Was that good or bad?
That was really bad, because it was Arnold Schwarzenegger from the first movie.
Oh.
Yeah, so, you know.
So he wasn't telling you to come with him if you wanted to live?
You know.
I want to say that in a sex situation now. Next time I have sex, which will probably be in 40 years, I want to say that to the woman in the middle of it. Come with me if you want to live.
You know what's cool is that, like, Skynet might be happening at that point, so whatever.
Most likely.
It's like, come with me if you want to live. Haha. I finally get to say that, and it makes sense now.
Hopefully our Terminator overlords enjoy the podcast.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself, Paul, and start...
Never!
You want to talk about this? Is this something you want to... Hold on, let's put a couple of minutes aside. You guys at home can put a couple of minutes aside for Polly here. Polly, what's wrong?
Just this past week or two has been frustrating with the YouTube stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, no, it really has. You of all people...
Excuse me, I have to make a sexy noise. Okay, I feel a little better now.
Oh my god, I've never been so aroused in my entire century of being alive.
Well, I'm used to that. I usually go to the old folks' home, and I'm like, you're probably desperate enough. Is that wet down there? And she's like, it's not been wet since 1952.
That's a long time ago, you know.
You got all quiet, and I felt awkward.
No, I was just going to make a joke, and I was like, is that me to say if she was on oxygen?
Oh. drink quickly.
Yeah, go
Can't
drink.
say anything, I'm drinking.
Me neither.
Welcome to the Drink Cast.
We like to drink every liquid except for the liquids
Ew.
that come out of people.
I don't, yeah.
I drink blood, though.
Well, that's probably not good for you.
I go down the street and I'm like, what would you like to drink? My friend says, I don't know, maybe a water. And I say, well, not blood. Ha-ha. And I fly away.
So you're a peer pressure vampire is
Peer
what you
pressure
really
vampire. Boom, 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 boom.
I think there needs to be an after-school special about that.
It does.
Kids, don't give in to peer pressure vampire.
No, blah, blah.
Don't you want to be cool like me?
Let's do the show right now. Okay, open episode 1.
I imagine it's some really old guy who's trying to ride a skateboard and his like pants are too short for his socks. Do you see his socks?
He's got
I'm very cool. Who likes blood?
He's got like the collar, the giant ass
Yes!
collar, and the cape,
Like
but he's wearing a
Chocula.
jersey too. He's like, wait, so is he a mascot for drugs or against drugs? Because it would be like,
he's trying to get people to do blood. Like he's the bad peer pressure guy.
Oh.
Only like he's trying to get all the kids to do it, but he's like this really old
come
vampire
on,
dude.
it's natural. Blah. And then Helsing just busts down the door of that elementary school and says, only a loser is a drug user. And then he throws a cross at him, and then it hits him in the face and he dies.
And then he snorts some opium.
After he died. Okay.
No, Helsing does, because then you find out he's got his own problem.
And then we have another
Life's
after
more
school
complex.
special.
Yeah, he can go to rehab.
You,
I guess that's why no one would buy my after-school special. And at the end, the hero's doing drugs too, and they're like, "That doesn't teach the point." I'm like, "Yeah, it does. Drugs are cool."
well, drugs are
Like-
cool, but you have to think, like, maybe you should sell it as kids aren't stupid, even though they are. You should sell it as kids aren't stupid. Just cover your face in shame. You think the same, Paul.
There are a lot of kids who are smarter than me, so I'm not gonna go around saying kids are stupid. So
Okay, everyone hate Gamerpixie. She thinks kids are stupid. I was a kid once. I wouldn't know
would like
anything
to
about
imagine-
that. Go ahead.
I would like to imagine you would go to a hospital and someone's like, "Oh, look, I just had a baby." And you're like, "Man, that kid is so stupid. I know so much more than these dumb babies.
Well,
They don't even know not to shit themselves."
That's one of the things they're good at. So I think
Shit.
no.
I could be good at shitting myself too if I wanted to be.
What an achievement. Can you say goo goo gaga and put your toe in your mouth? No.
I could do it once, but I'd probably break my leg and cry a lot.
Break your leg right off. Oh my god, I'm Paul and I ripped my leg off. Oh.
Is that the noise you're gonna make when I cry and do it? Making fun of me?
Yes. I'm gonna make fun of you when you pull off your own leg. I will also simultaneously be honored that I was gifted with a friend with such amazing strength.
But not intellect, apparently.
Well, you
I
didn't
can do
know.
This,
It's like you don't, I don't know, isn't there ever a superhero who's like, oh my god, I didn't know I was super? Like,
That'd be like
Superman.
if the Hulk was like, I took a piss and I have to shake my dick and he ripped his dick off.
Exactly like it. I'm not even sure why I didn't think of that before. Wow. So, welcome back, everyone. I know you were already sitting here, but I wanted to just say thank you for listening to the podcast and leaving questions.
See, that all the thing in the Hulk like that would make me feel bad for him.
It would.
Gamerpixie asked a very interesting question the other day, speaking of feeling bad for people.
Yeah.
Feel bad for me. Give me your attention and love. She asked me, though, like, what video game villain would you feel bad for? I'm like, that's a great question.
Yeah, I thought of it in the shower. Pa-ching. Again. Money-making ideas in the shower, y'all. So anyway, who do you feel like? Yeah, that's it. I don't want to be like toot my own horn. That's a great question. But when I was trying to think of more segments, and when I thought of that question, I knew that it was decent enough that I didn't have to think of more segments.
You were like, gold. That's gold, son.
Pretty much. I was like, oh yeah, I'm done. I'm writing this down. I did get out of the shower and write it down and go back in the shower. So just so you know.
I guess I wrote a couple different game villains I felt bad for. One of them's kind of a cheat. My friend Lauren suggested him, like, it's a good one. And it's when you play The Sims, it's me. Because anyone who's played The Sims, at some point, you're the bad guy. Because you're locking people in houses and burning them.
Oh!
Or...
What?
That's kind of a cheat. That's kind of a cheat. But...
Yes! That's like meta. Like, you feel bad for yourself?
Yeah, I feel bad for myself that I have to put up with the fact that I had to kill them all.
Why? Did you feel bad while you were doing it?
No, probably not.
So in hindsight, you feel bad for... Whoa, this is way beyond my thinking abilities. I'm not even sure how that works. So you're a villain because you killed things, but they weren't real?
I actually like being the villain more often in games than the good guy, to be honest.
Yeah, I sometimes do. I mean, Bioshock, I didn't like that, but whatever.
I think for a more serious one, though, the visual novel In Miko We Trust, it's about this character. She's kind of got, like, supernatural powers, and it's kind of tongue-in-cheek and silly, and she's got, like, a sidekick like that. And they come to America, and somehow she becomes president of the United States of America.
Ooh, cool.
And you play as the vice president, which you're just, like, a regular average Joe that she asked. And at some point, you find out the president's arch nemesis, who's, like, going to try and destroy the president, is Miko's own child, who Miko had abandoned.
Oh.
So it's like, so the bad guy is like, you're like, oh, I feel bad for her because the bad guy was abandoned by her parents. Yeah,
that's a good. I need to watch your Let's Play of that because I haven't seen it yet, and you just telling me that makes me feel bad for that villain.
Yeah, and so you're trying to stop the villain, but at the same time you feel bad for the villain. You're like, oh, she's trying to stop her own parents who abandoned her and left her and went to do other things.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God. It's, like, depressing. I was already in a depressed mood, so yay! Take another sip of soda. So we'll do a tag team here. Don't say it again. You'd like to make a joke of tag team.
You read my mind. Every time you do tag team, I was like, yeah, we're gonna tag team this thing.
Yeah. Okay. My turn. So, a game that I played when I was very young and actually introduced... You know, it's funny. When you're a kid and you play games and then you don't really understand certain concepts till later. Well, a classic that I always played as a kid, and for some reason I was fully aware of the concept of how cruel it was Eternal Darkness for the GameCube. And the villain in that, I mean, I want to say spoiler alert, maybe not spoiler alert, because, well, technically it is spoiler alert, because you just told us who the villain was, and yeah, in Miko We Trust. So, okay, all bets are off! So I feel really bad for the villain, Pius. Because Pius is a dude who is just a soldier or whatever, like Roman soldier. If I'm fucking this up, sorry, he's wearing the Roman shit. Just wiki it if you want, I don't care. But basically, what happens to him is Pius is just, like, led into this thing where they're like, oh, you gotta find an artifact for us. His superiors are saying that. And he does it, and then he ends up just getting manipulated and screwed. And it's funny because he's a horrible person, but he just, every, like, ounce of humanity is completely sucked out of him. Like, he's... Sorry. Paul was coughing, and he muted his microphone like a dainty, sir. It's good.
No, please continue.
Yeah, you're good at
I was listening. I was trying to encourage you. I'm, like, listening to...
He tried to encourage me by coughing a kidney out while I had it. Anyway, sorry, I'm easily distracted. But yeah, Pius. I think it's very deep, the whole fact that you go through that the first level, and that is you playing as Pius, and he's a normal dude, and he's going through, and the ancient artifacts are calling to him. And I just feel so bad for him, because once he gets it, he's completely screwed. The ancients, like, give him so much power, so he's, like, super powerful, but he's no longer human anymore. He no longer has, like, emotions or, like, apathy or empathy. I think apathy is not caring at all. He has a lot of apathy. And the ancients are mean to him, too. So even though he's, like, this super crazy villain, you know, also he's a skeleton, which would suck, and I feel bad for him for that. But, yeah, I just feel bad for Pius, because you have this character that was just doing his duty, and then he's just given so much power, and humanity is just not even a thing to him anymore, and he was probably a good guy. Because he starts off as an innocent guy. He's just a dude that was doing a mission, and then I'm dragging on, but he was just a guy doing a mission, and then he got fucked by one of the ancients. So I feel bad for Pius, even though he did all those horrible things. I feel like he probably wouldn't have done it if he still had skin.
Well, that's a pretty good one. Unfortunately, I've never played that game before, but now I kind of want to. It sounds really cool.
I'm gonna do a Let's Play of it. It's super, it pulls so much from H.P. Lovecraft. That's why I like the ancients and stuff. And at the end, it makes more sense.
Would you dress as Cthulhu as you LP'd it to get in the theme?
No, I mean, Cthulhu is not, like, featured in that game, unfortunately. Which is pretty unfortunate. Everyone loves a good octopus head man. Which Cthulhu
I thought you were going to be
was.
like, everyone loves Cthulhu. Like, that should be on t-shirts if it's not already.
Everybody loves Cthulhu. Don't change that dial. We'll be right back.
It's a kid's show.
No, I think
Cthulhu destroys everything.
I think Everybody Loves Raymond did that. They're like, oh, that's that dial. His brother. I can't do a good impression of Raymond's brother.
I thought you meant Cthulhu was on Everybody Loves Raymond. I was like, I don't remember that episode at all.
That would be an episode that was good, which that show doesn't have. Burn! Ooh, if you like Everyone Loves Raymond.
Ray Romano heard that and he just had a tear, and then he was like, you know what? I'm going to go swim around in my money cave I have from that show.
He has a money cave?
Like that,
From
or a
that
tower
show?
like Scrooge McDuck. When you get a show like that into syndication, you make mad money.
Mad money is when you get the money. It's like, yeah, see, I don't like you, see.
You're like,
Yeah, he turned into like some sort of weird satanic clown.
I'm scared.
Well,
I'm gonna have a new worst nightmare thanks to Gamerpixie now.
What? Insane money that's mad at you or clowns?
No, the Satan clown.
Satan clowns. You know, whenever I think of clowns, you know what movie made me like clowns?
Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Yes, hands down. When they're like, oh my god, the bike is hurt. Oh, their expressions, I'm like, I love you guys. Please perform at my birthday. Turning 22, I need to get 22 clowns. And I'll tell them not to shave so they can pull a Cesar Romero thing, like the Joker. They got little, like, stubs under their white paint. Anyway! Do you have more than one person on your list? Who's your second person?
My next one, which less people are going to have sympathy for, is in the game Bully. Basically, the bad guy is this kid, Gary. And Gary's a total asshole. He's a psychopath, and he's a bully. But I like him. He's just likable. He's like a dick to everybody, but like all the time he cracks me up. He's like mean and he's abusive, but I'm like, I love this guy. So at the end, like when you have to defeat him, I feel bad. Like I felt bad for him because I liked him. He takes over the school and he turns people against each other. He makes it utter chaos, and I'm like, I like this guy.
Oh, so you feel, wow, that's weird. I don't know, because I cannot say I feel the same way. I don't know if I feel remorse for this guy.
I love Gary, though. He's hilarious, and he's funny, and he's mean to people.
But he's a bad guy.
Yeah, but I like him.
It's not like the kid going against Miko or whatever. Oh, is that her name?
No. It's not the same kind of thing. It's just like Gary's the kind of guy I would have got along with when I was in school.
Oh, gotcha.
Me and him would have been like, yeah, we get along.
So you felt bad for your partner in crime, basically.
Yeah, I've been like, yeah, I like this guy. I don't care that he's an asshole to everyone else. He makes me laugh, so...
Well, that's...
if you're gonna be like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, that's fucked. Well, just know there, folks, that if you're a bad person, Paul will feel bad for you.
Well, not everybody. Just you gotta at least be funny.
If you push kids into moving cars,
no, that's a little.
Paul's gonna be like, "Oh my god, I feel so bad for that guy that went to prison."
In high school, we used to do this thing called hallways of violence. So me and my friend Aaron, and what we do is we'd walk down the hallways and they'd be like packed full of people, and one of us would yell it out, and then we'd shove the other one as hard as we could into people. Like I'd shove Aaron into a group of other kids real hard. He'd shove me into a group of other kids when we weren't ready for it.
Why couldn't we hang out when we were younger? And it wouldn't have been kind of weird, because I think if I was in high school, you'd be like college age, right?
Probably more than that.
University age. I think it's fucking different.
Technically, any age could be university age, right?
Oh yeah, as long as it's over 18, boy. Anyway, so Ball just says that he feels. You see, this is why I can do things that are really mean on the show, like talk about beating women and killing children. Because Paul later will feel bad for me. He'll be mad at me at first, but he will come back and be like, I feel bad that you have these urges.
Well, I wouldn't be mad at you.
You won't be mad at me if I beat a woman? Or a man?
I thought you wanted to talk about it. Yeah, if you beat someone, yeah, I'd be mad. I'd be like, don't be beating people.
Okay, this message. The message here is, actions speak louder than words.
It's true. I have written on my whiteboard up behind my workstation, I have acta non verba written, which is Latin for actions, not words.
I thought you literally just, like, said the sentence, but you really fucked it up. No, it turns out you're really smart, and you said it in Latin. That's actually pretty cool. Good job. God, I know one thing in Latin, and it's really stupid.
What's that?
It's semper ubi sabubi. It's always wear your underwear. I'm serious. I'm pretty sure semper... Yeah, because semper is always.
What is that from?
Okay, I learned it from a Nancy Drew, because it was just like...
That was my guess.
Yeah.
That was my guess.
You talk to, like, this lady in a freaking museum, and you're like, oh, bye, I'll talk to you later. And she goes, semper ubi sabubi. And then you're like, well, that's dumb. And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, that's funny. My 8-year-old self thought it was really cool that I knew some Latin.
Seems like a creepy lady to be like, always wear your underwear. Why would you mention that?
Because I'm watching. No. But...
So, what was the other video game villain you felt bad for?
So... I am a big fan of Silent Hill, and it was really hard for me not to say that I felt bad for every Silent Hill villain, except for the first one, because I don't give a fuck about Galepsy. She's crazy. I don't feel bad for her. Anyway, but yeah, like, I was gonna be kind of cheap and be like, every villain from the Silent Hill series, but I'm just gonna choose one. Which is very difficult, because I do feel bad for, like, all of them. And I think the one I feel bad for the most would have to be Claudia. And for those of you who know Silent Hill 3, Claudia is the childhood fan of Heather, and that's the girl you play as in the third one. What makes me feel so bad for Claudia is at the end, and I might be fucking this up, like, I'm not getting the exact sentence correct, but basically what she says is that she's going through all this shit to make paradise, basically, you know, like make heaven and all that, but she doesn't expect herself to be there, or be saved, or be accepted, because of the stuff she's done. And I think that's really sad, because Claudia and Heather were really good friends, and then Claudia did a bunch of horrible stuff to Heather. And Claudia went through all this trouble. She went through all this suffering and all this betrayal and all that. And at the end, she doesn't even think she's gonna see, like, the end result, like, why she's doing it. And for some reason, that makes me really sad. I feel really bad for her. Because that's fucked, you know? And then also, I think the way she died was pretty sad, too, because eating the god fetus was just not a good idea. You know, in hindsight,
I
it really
saw
wasn't.
the ending to that, and I was like, oh my.
Seriously, yeah. But I did feel really bad for her, because, once again, I do feel for people who are like, she's brainwashed, you know. They're like, oh yeah, if you do all this, then we're gonna have heaven. And she did all that horrible stuff, and she admits that she doesn't even think she's gonna go to heaven. So, it's pretty sad. And, yeah.
Well, that's a much better one than my Gary one. I'm like, I just like that he's an asshole. Like, this is really deep, that they go through all this work, and she's still not even good to go there.
I feel like it's too bad that I'm not more, like, good at articulating things today, because I don't feel very satisfied with the way I've described this, but that's the villains I picked. It's all, like, this deep symbolism, because, like, with Pius, when you're going through to get to the artifact, you have to, like, you do a target practice. It's kind of well incorporated, because it's teaching you how to play the game. It's teaching you how to do the combat system. And basically what you're practicing on is a statue of yourself. And you're cutting off its appendages in the head, and you're stabbing the middle, and then the door opens after you do that. So it's really symbolic of, you are fucking yourself up just to get this, you know? And with Claudia, it's the same thing. She's, like, fucked up everything, and she's not gonna see... She doesn't expect to see happiness. She's doing it for everyone else. But for people on the outside, you're like, dude, the walls are made of skin. You're like, what good can come out of this? You know? So I do feel for her, because, like, she's crazy. And I think she loves Heather. So it's really sad to be like, I love you, so we have to do this good stuff, but she's actually fucking everything up. So what's your third one? So I had to reiterate, because I feel like a total asshole.
Well, the only other one I kind of thought of doing, too, is in the game Expeditions Conquistador, you get to play a Conquistador, which I love that game, because once again, you get to be the bad guy, and the Conquistadors in real life were terrible, terrible people. And at the end of it, basically, you have Montezuma, who's, like, the head of the Aztec Empire, and you basically, like, kill him and, like, his family and everyone else to destroy the Aztec Empire. So I feel bad for, like, Montezuma. It's a little... Not totally, because, like, the Aztecs did some terrible things to other people, but it's kind of, like... it's kind of brutal when you, like, wipe out someone in their family and their entire empire just to be like, yeah. I still chose to. You didn't have to, but I was like... So I felt a little bad for him at the end of that.
Yeah, well, it's sad. I mean, you don't want to... Someone made a good thing for themselves, and you destroyed it. You can feel proud about your achievements. Also, if you saw me dancing, it's because Skype completely froze. So, yeah, everyone, I was dancing through that whole explanation.
Did you have another one, or...?
It's not really... I mean, there's general ones. I feel bad for almost every Metal Gear Solid villain. Like, really bad for them. Actually, every villain in Metal Gear Solid 3, I feel really bad for those guys. Like, especially the Sorrow? That's the guy who flies, like, backwards, and you gotta walk through the water and avoid the people. The ghosts.
I don't remember that. I thought the Sorrow was... You would know better than me, because I watched someone play
I think it is the Sorrow. He's the one where at the end, like, when you die, you have to open up your inventory and take the cyanide pill or something. You have to take some sort of pill that kills you, because it's like reverse psychology. If you kill yourself when you're already dead or something, I don't know, you come back to life. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't have it on my list because I was way too indecisive. I really feel bad for Ocelot, because if you know the story of Metal Gear Solid, like, this is a big spoiler, so I'm not going to tell you, but for those of you who actually went through and, like, really studied the story to Metal Gear Solid, I really feel for Ocelot. One, he's hot! Two, he's technically a really good guy. But if I had to add one more to my list, since you had 3, we have to even the shit here. Okay, yeah, this is going to be another spoiler alert. Heavy Rain, I really felt bad for the villain in that.
I didn't know you played Heavy Rain. So.
Oh yeah, I did. I played Heavy Rain. I've beat it like 3 times because I wanted to get some of the different endings. Do you know what Fahrenheit is? Or Indigo Prophecy?
I've heard of it, but I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, okay. I think that was made by the same guy. It's got the exact same gameplay. I think Heavy Rain's like an upgrade.
Heavy Rain is one of those LPs that I have a couple of different friends and viewers that keep are like, LP it, LP it, LP it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to. But please continue.
I think it would be funny if you did LP it, because I could just imagine, like, that game's really depressing, and it's like a movie, so it has a lot of the atmosphere, like...
Well, I hate games with quick time events. I just absolutely hate
then you'll hate that game, because that's all that game is. But I think it would be funny, because they'd just drop some plot point that's really depressing, and to hear you go, oh. I think it would be pretty funny. But, just my opinion. I don't like your stuff. But the villain in that, I feel very bad for the villain in that. And I don't want to give too much away for those of you who have seen the ending. It's another case of a crazy person who just it's not an excuse for what they did, because it's a child murder. That's the villain in that. But when you get through that part, like, what about his past and what his childhood was like, because his dad was, like, an asshole, drunk, and all this sort of stuff, and without giving too much away, I felt really bad for him, because he's just, like, a mentally ill guy who Yeah, like, I can't give too much away, because it's actually pretty cool when you figure out who it is, and you do feel bad for him. Well, most of the time. So, yeah, the guy from Heavy Rain. The guy! Ha! Well, you didn't think it was Madison. There's only one girl in there, and she's obviously there to be with the hero at the end, so not too much of a spoiler there. Am I boring the shit out of you?
No, I was just listening. Like one time in the like all the other podcasts we've done, there's been a lot of awkward scientists.
Yes.
Scientists?
Awkward scientist.
I'm going to do some awkward science right now.
Excuse me.
Acid plus base. Oh, I have a boner. Awkward.
Excuse me. Can I tell you something? Is it okay if I tell you something?
Yes.
Is it well? Are you busy?
No.
Okay. E equals MC squared.
Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared? I don't believe it.
I'm sorry, I'm really awkward. I'm an awkward scientist. Bill Nye. The awkward
The
scientist
awkward
guy.
science guy?
Yeah, the awkward science. Bill.
Bill Nye, the awkward science guy.
Science rule. Help us. Oh God!
Well, should we
some
put a wrap on it?
podcasts. Yeah, sure, why not? I'm gonna hold my candle up for good ritualistic purposes.
She is. She's holding it up. It's like,
I
you know, hold your hands and kumbaya and...
I'm good. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya.
I want to thank everybody who's listened, and those of you who have accidentally left this on as you walked out of the room.
Yeah, and I thank you for not shooting yourselves in the head, and for those of you who did...
What kind of ending is that? Oh, God.
I promise I won't reproduce, you guys.
Oh.
I'm gonna... Please leave that in. Okay. Goodbye. I love you all. Thanks for listening to us. We are very happy.